What's up everyone, it's Shane from Maximum Quality Content here. And today we're on YouTube, because where else would we be, to rank every single Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie in this godforsaken franchise. From one of the best movies ever made, to the redacted unholy pits of awfulness, which unfortunately we're gonna have to jump head first into. These films have had their highs and lows, more often lows to be honest, but hey, I feel like talking about them, so screw it. Anyways, let's cover the categories. Of course, we've got the 1974 OG original classic. I mean, of course that's going to be at the top. That's not even a debate. And after that, good. You know, just a movie that's good. And then following that, kinda, sorta, okay-ish. I mean, it's tolerable. And of course, absolute crap. More than a few of those in here. And last but certainly not least, god-awful, avoid at all costs. With that being said, this video is not too long, but you know, god damn it, I watch these movies for a reason. I don't want to have just wasted my life on those hours. At least I can make a stupid YouTube video about it, okay? I have to justify all that time I wasted watching these. Anyways, I'm gonna stop waffling on now. Let's get right into the list. So, like I said, 1974 OG top. Yeah, I mean, come on, was there even any question? Anyone who's seen the 1974 film knows it's freaking awesome, and if you saw it and you disagree, you're just wrong. But no, in all seriousness, this movie is freaking amazing because it subverts so many expectations you would expect to have going into the genre. It's weird how this movie is like commonly noted as one of the pioneers of the slasher genre, but it does everything so differently from every other slasher movie that came after it, or hell, even before it. You know, Psycho, that's a thing. Because right off the bat, this movie like starts off with that spine-chilling intro which sounds like a documentary and shows a bunch of pictures from nubbins. I think some of those were actually real, like bones and stuff as well. And of course, like, I even made a whole video about it. You have that hitchhiker scene which happens right at the beginning of the movie. You know, something is deadly wrong with their location and it's not gonna go well, but you just, the whole time you're not expecting when the shoe's going to drop. I mean, the first kill in the movie happens like out of nowhere. I mean, the first time I watched it, it actually shook me real bad because I had no idea it was coming. Because no other movie did it like that. There was no music, there's no build-up, it just happens. And then once you've experienced that, like, you're even more on edge than you were before, because now the movie has established that anything can happen at any time. Not going to be like expectation settings, like, okay, well, the character's in a dark room, there's music building up, okay, they're going to get killed. Like, it doesn't do it like that. And plus, the movie just doesn't rely on jump scares. One of the most terrifying parts is the dinner scene, and it's just like, what? 10 minutes of Sally screaming at the top of her lungs with like disturbing imagery, and the family members just giggling the whole time. I mean, sure, maybe some people are desensitized to it nowadays, but I think the fact that still makes it sort of eerie to me and other people is like the fact how long it goes. Plus, this is the only movie in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise that actually got the protagonists right. Because in this movie, they're not like the campers from Friday the 13th, where it's just like, oh yeah, just a bunch of killables, whatever. I mean, yeah, they do get killed, but you're actually rooting for them. Strange enough, that's not really a common theme in the slasher franchise. Usually you hate most of the characters' guts. For some reason, no other movie just got that message. Like, every other Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, every other Texas Chainsaw movie just had characters that you either hated or were just stupid. At the top, 1974 OG. It's one of my favourite films of all time. Brilliant movie. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. In other words, the last good movie in the Texas Chainsaw franchise. Spoiler alert. Comparing it to all the other movies, I'd say it's pretty good in that case. And plus, you know, there are some redeeming qualities. There are some there's a lot to like about it. I mean, even the poster here, you can tell it's a very big tonal shift from like serious, disturbing horror, that was the first film, to sort of a lighthearted comedy. It's like a little parody of, what's it called? What's the movie called? No, Breakfast Club, my bad. Yeah, Breakfast Club. It's like a parody of that. And to be honest, that's probably why it works, because it's just so different. I can clearly tell they had like a lot bigger of a budget. Tobe Hooper, who also directed the second one, had a lot bigger budget than the first one, because, you know, the final set piece in their little amusement park lair. It's so over the top, that final set piece, and I think that's just a good word to describe this movie in general, over the top. And for a movie like this, you wouldn't really expect any character development, but there actually is. Like, Leatherface actually grows up, sort of. In the first movie, he's like a mind of an 8-year-old, just a man baby, pretty much. But in the second movie, while, yeah, he's still a man-child, but goes through like an edgy, rebellious phase. He's going against Drayton Sawyer and all that, when he sees a hot chick that he actually wants to bang, and that's not an exaggeration. I'll never forget horny Leatherface. And plus, a lot of the comedy comes from the character Chop Shop, who's like constantly making references to other movies and sort of emphasising how ridiculous the situation is, which I think is the core of what Tobe Hooper was like tapping into. Because it's clear he wasn't really taking this movie seriously. I mean, the whole reason why he did it in the first place was because I believe that's what the producers wanted him to do. Because he wanted to make a movie, but they wouldn't let him unless he made Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And then he did it. And it sort of feels like a meta commentary, like, okay, I made this original masterpiece, but this premise is just ridiculous to continue, so I'm just gonna run wild with it. And to be honest, that's why I think it works better than most, so good. Alright, Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Right in the middle. What I do like about it is, like, it does continue that sort of growth of Leatherface. But, he's moved out of the house, and he's formed his own family this time, so it's sort of growth in that kind of way. And plus, the family he forms are actually quite entertaining. They pretty much ditch the whole comedy. I mean, there are a few moments that are supposed to be funny but aren't. You can really tell it's trying to be more serious like the original. And I'm not gonna lie, there are some cool moments. I like the final set piece where the girl is escaping from the base and the black guy's fighting off all the family members, and there's like hard rock in the background, which I wasn't expecting, but it's a nice touch. A weird touch, but a nice touch. And the gore is pretty brutal as well. I'd say the gore's pretty good. But yeah, I'd say kinda sorta okay-ish. It's okay. Not very good, but yeah. Alright, next. Oh my god. I'm regretting going in release order because the next one is fucking terrible. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Man, this movie fucking blows, man. This is one of the worst. It's just awful. Okay, so Leatherface finds yet another messed up family and forms with them, but it feels like he had growth over the first 3 films and then completely reverted back to complete man baby. Because it's not like this new family is his family, he just kind of gets abused and bullied and treated like shit the whole time. Like even worse than he was with the Sawyer family, his family. The big part of why this movie is trash is because the new family is god-awful. Like, you have Matthew McConaughey, who plays the man of the house. He has a wife and all that, and Leatherface is sort of the son along with another family member. And there's like this huge sort of overtone of like a domestic abuse. But the worst part is like, okay, it's clearly meant to be messed up, it's clearly meant to make you uncomfortable, but there's no payoff. Like, he doesn't get comeuppance from the wife who he's abusing. No, that doesn't happen. Instead, he gets killed by this mysterious organization, which is another freaking bizarre part of this film. Apparently, there's like, men in suits show up, and they're like high-ranking officials that spy on the family and want him to commit acts of cannibalism and stuff or something. It's bizarre and stupid. Like, there's not even a satisfying conclusion. I mean, sure, the abusive dad died, but again, at the hands of the mysterious organisation, not the wife. And the acting in general is like the deal breaker. It sucks. Especially the protagonists. They are I mean, look, a lot of people argue, okay, well, of course, people are meant to be stupid in horror movies. That's how it's supposed to be. But trust me, if you've seen this movie, their stupidity is not even believable. They're dumber than some of the protagonists are dumber than Leatherface. I'm not even joking. And plus the final girl protagonist that we're supposed to root for is completely unlikable. And going back to the abuse overtone, it's with her and her father. There's supposed to be like a theme there, but again, there's no payoff. It never comes up again. So, I mean, she just gets abused all the same throughout the movie from that, when she gets kidnapped by the family. So, I mean, what's the point of even bringing it up? Hell, even the house is just boring to look at. You watch the original movie, the house is like a nightmare fuel influenced by Ed Gein, you know, animal parts, live animals everywhere, your bones, blood, like all that stuff. And in the next generation, it's just, oh yeah, newspapers are scattered around or something, and that's it. I mean, it's just shit. It's such a shit movie, don't watch it. The 2003 remake. Yeah, this movie sucks. I'm just gonna put it bluntly. It's like they wanted to go back to the original and try and recreate the magic of the original. Try and capture what it did so greatly and try and reintroduce it for a new generation by doing the exact opposite of what that movie did. Introducing all the crappy horror tropes that we're just so used to, like the suspenseful music, the jump scare we know that's coming, you know, the sort of, you know, even the fake jump scare where there's not actually anything scary, like, oh my god, there's something in the locker, oh wait, oh, it's just a possum, my bad. Like, every horror trope you know about is in this movie, and not to mention the premise is just inferior to the original. Like, I get what they're trying to do. The protagonists in the movie pick up a hitchhiker who was actually, we later find out, was kidnapped by the Sawyer family, or I guess the Slaughter family as they're called in this movie, Jesus. And she later just pops herself inside the car, and then the whole protagonists have to call up the sheriff, who we later find out is a Sawyer, and then, you know, blah blah blah, madness happens. And then at the end of the movie, it's supposed to be like, oh, we've come full circle. Now the protagonist, the final girl, is now the one who doesn't want to go back to the town, who is scared and terrified and is trying to bloody escape. Like, yeah, I get that, but it sort of takes out the movie because they're supposed to have a much bigger influence because they have the sheriff. Drayton Sawyer is now the sheriff of the town. So you'd think with more influence, they would be more cautious, they'd be more prepared for people coming across. Yeah, I mean, later we got a prequel movie, which implies that they've been doing this for a while, but now that kind of just ruins this one. It just makes them feel even more incompetent. There is one good thing about this movie and one thing alone, and that's Arlie Ernie. He's the only redeeming part of this movie. Aside from that, it's shit. Don't watch it. And it's the same situation with the prequel to the remake, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. It's pretty much absolute crap. I think what sort of puts it up slightly more is that we get to see a bit more of Leatherface's backstory, you know, where he got the face masks and all that. We get to see the origins of how Arlie Ermey became a sheriff, how Drayton Sawyer became the sheriff, and how he uses that position to sort of capture people and sort of gets high in that level of authority. So it was cool seeing the backstory to some of these characters who admittedly weren't great, but it's cool to see. Protagonists are unlikable, same with the original. I mean, I'd say the characters in the beginning, in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning are definitely 10 times more likable than the cast in the 2003 remake. God, that's not even a competition. The remake's characters are freaking garbage. Like, even the protagonist in the original remake is just unlikable to a fault. And for some reason they placed the disabled person from the 1974 original, Franklin. They replace him with like a pothead. Just doesn't give a shit about what's happening. Suggests to dump the body. Oh my god, how did I not cover that? That was the stupidest part of the fuck. Okay, hold on, let me backpedal a bit. Not backpedal, let me backtrack a bit. So in the 2003 remake, when they actually capture the person, when they actually get the hitchhiker and she offs herself, the cast doesn't really know what to do with the body because they, you know, they're in an abandoned town with like one sheriff, and that's it. And he's taking his sweet time to show up. And a lot of them just suggest to dump the body and leave, and it's like, what? Bro, you can't just leave a dead body. You're gonna get arrested and like, you know, charges put against you. That makes you look suspect as hell. So it doesn't make any sense. God, okay, I need to move on. I need to move on. These remake movies are trash. Texas Chainsaw 3D, absolute crap. So this is where things get really messy. I think this is meant to be a sequel to the 1974 original, and it follows like a girl who was actually a Sawyer but was kidnapped from the Sawyer family and raised by a different family, and then rediscovers her Sawyer heritage, and for some reason just goes insane and becomes Leatherface's best buddy by the end of the film. Like, how? Okay, so there's a combination of the protagonist who is one of the Sawyers but she doesn't know it, looking at evidence while she's in the police room because she just escaped from Leatherface. Looking at evidence about the Sawyer family, going like, whoa, oh my god, they were murdered by this other family. And for some reason that just makes her snap. Even though she's never met her original family members, she just cracks him like, oh my god, you murdered my family, even though I've never met them, literally ever. The one family member I have met has just murdered all my friends. To be honest, that's sort of what I like about this movie. It's so stupid and fucking absurd that it's likeable in that way. That's all I can say. Like, I can show it to people and they'll be like, what the fuck is this? I'll be like, yeah, isn't this messed up? Isn't this so stupid? Isn't that grand? Leatherface 2017, as if the timeline couldn't get even more messed up. Now this is a prequel to the original film, I think. I don't want to watch a movie about Leatherface. The reason the Texas Chainsaw Massacre works is because it's the whole family that is messed up. Like, it's not sure, Leatherface is the most memorable aspect of the movie, but if it was just a movie about him, it would suck. So it's like they're taking the wrong message. They think, oh yeah, people remember Leatherface, let's make a movie about him. No, Leatherface works because he has chemistry with all the other family members that are just as bloody insane as he is. And plus they try to subvert your expectations by, like, showing a group of protagonists, one of them being like a oaf who can't speak and is kind of stupid. But it turns out, oh, that's not Leatherface. That's not Jed Sawyer, the man who becomes Leatherface. It's actually this hot supermodel looking guy. But the result is just so lame. It's the same thing that happens with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. All of a sudden, he encounters the Sawyers, his own family, because he was in a mental institute. He re-encounters them, and all of a sudden, just boom, I love them, I support them, I'm gonna kill for them. It's like, what? Even though he doesn't have much memory from his family, as soon as he meets them again, he's willing to kill for them. It makes no sense. It's stupid. God awful. And last but certainly not least, fucking, this is the worst Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I'm not even exaggerating. This movie is the worst. They were trying to copy what they did in Halloween, what David Gordon Green did in Halloween 2018. Like a sequel to the original movie that disregards all the canon from the other movies and try to set it far in the future. Instead of old, like, Laurie Strode like we had in Halloween 2018, we now have an old Sally Hardesty, but in this movie, she barely even plays a role. And when she does, she's just a complete unlikable asshole, which Laurie Strode in Halloween 2018 wasn't, so it's like, did they even take notes? They were trying to create a badass woman character, but she ends up being a stupid idiot and like arsehole who's willing to sacrifice the teenagers to get to Leatherface. And plus, like I said, they made the mistake of making a movie about Leatherface. I don't want to watch a movie about Leatherface. I like watching him interact with a family, but that's it. See, I never use the argument of like, oh, this movie's woke, but this is one of the few movies where it's like, woke people are trying to take over this old Texas town and they're fighting back against it, so we're meant to root for the old conservatives trying to fight for their village while the woke people just come in and take over the town. But in saying that, the woke people are the protagonists. So why the people that we're supposed to hate, the people that we see the most of? And plus it suffers from the same issue of the fourth film, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Like, the characters are so stupid and like fucking brick-headed that it's not convincing. It's just terrible. And they're all unlikable to boot, so yeah. Okay, that's my ranking for all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Look, I do... Man, it's hard to say. I like this franchise, okay? I do. I like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's one of my favourite movies of all time. The second movie is also it's alright. It's good. It's, it's watchable. But most of these movies are just shit. Just watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies directed by Tobe Hooper. Maybe check out the remakes or whatever if you really want to, just to see what they're like. But in the end, I hope they just stop touching this franchise. Just make something new. I'm okay with not having another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. But yeah, that's all I have to say on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. That's my ranking. Like if you liked, dislike if you disliked, and make sure subscribe for more quality content, and I'll see you guys. What the hell? What the? Hello? What the fuck is that? Bro. What? Turn the lights on. Turn the lights on. I'm supposed to take you seriously in that? What the hell is that? What are you wearing? I mean, you're dressed like a schlub. You look like you bought that Poundland and those chainsaws for that matter. Chainsaws air quotes from Poundland last minute before the video started just to get a quick skit in for some reason. It makes no sense. That outfit sucks. You suck. Get the hell out of my house. I mean, dude, what do they even call you? The Poundland Pound? Actually, the Poundland Pound? That sounds a bit wrong now that I think about it. What? The spooky splooger? I don't know, but whatever it is, it's gotta suck.
Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried. Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried.